purpose of discussion only on the following article. This is to allow, for instance, the town manager, who's not a resident of Monmouth, to answer questions that might be asked of him. Is there any discussion of Article 2?
Move the question.
Okay,
Second.
we moved and seconded that we take a vote on Article 2. All in favor of Article 2? Any opposed? Article 3. Understanding the town has previously changed the tax due date to November 1st or 30 days after commitment, whichever comes first. The town further decides to defer interest on non-paid property taxes until 60 days after the commitment date. Is there any discussion of Article 3? Yes, it would pass you the microphone.
My name is Dawn. I am in support of, delaying the interest for the 60-day period, but I got thinking about it after we left last time, and in order to save, the burden on, the taxes, and I know that we're borrowing money in order to pay the bills for the town. Could we discuss putting a contingency on having the deferral? For example, if the resident can pay at least the equivalent of what was owed the last period taxes, because a responsible resident should be saving up that amount anyway, and normally more because it's always increasing every year. So if they pay that by the due date, then they can get the free interest for the next 2 months on whatever the balance is. If you don't like that idea, then I would suggest a certain percent, at least 50% of what the new burden would be. But I think it is not a burden to ask for, at least equivalent to last year's. Is that something that we can discuss? Is it too late to discuss it? I'm not sure how the Roberts rules work. So.
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
And it would just say, I know last time we talked about putting people on furlough, and I thought that would be terrible to have to do that because we don't have, of course people are gonna wait a couple months because it's interest in their pocket, if they keep that money in the bank account. So, this would just promote getting whatever you can by November 1st. So.
Sure. So, Ted, I appreciate your comment. The sort of the strangle on the discussion is that the question has to be posed to the town in the way that the select board has posed it to you. So the question can't really be changed. So you can either say yes or no to the question, but you can't amend the question, is my understanding, Mr. Moderator. You can't change the question in the way that it's written. So, but that being said, I do want to explain that there is an extreme technical complication, and this isn't necessarily the resident's problem, it's the problem for the town office to deal with. But when we defer the taxes for 60 days, our commitment process has the tax due date and the interest accumulated when it was approved by the original town meeting. So every time someone brings in a check or we get a check from a bank, the people in the front office have to backdate that to the date in which so it won't accumulate interest. The system isn't able to, once the assessor commits the tax, it's permanent in there. So what we're doing now is we're trying to modify that. So what's going to happen, and I want to make everybody clear of this, the deferment moves the tax when the interest will start accumulating to that 60 days back, but at that 61st day, it's going to accumulate the interest all the way back to the first day. So you have that 60 days deferment, but it's still sort of calculating in the background. And there's no way for us to make adjustments to that because we are a two-pay town. So there's no way for us to calculate what that would be and then say you paid it 2 days after the April 15th date. How do we figure out what the system will have no way of calculating what the interest would be based on that. So I just want to make that clear to everybody that that's what we're looking to do right now, and I hope that sort of answers your question. It may not satisfy you, but I'm trying to answer you the best that I can.
I'm fine with that. I just wanted to, speak on behalf of getting the taxes in on time. And the other thing, when you're sending out, well, I don't know how you're going to notify people that they have the free, 2 months without the interest burden, but maybe we could have a letter that would explain that, the town is borrowing money, just be transparent with them, just to encourage them. If you do have your payment now, please send it in, and that's very much appreciated. If you could send a letter like that, I think that would really help. And then the other thing, the last meeting we had was the first time I'd been to a meeting, so I'm not really sure how all this works, but the day after that meeting, I had this idea. I went to the town to see if I could contact one of the select board members, because I had that idea, and I knew on Monday, so I think it was like a Friday, so I knew on Monday you would be meeting and talking about that, so I wanted to present my idea so you could talk about that, and then that could get in there, but, so I was given one email address, and I sent that, and I didn't get any response. How would I handle that in the future if I wanted to get in touch with somebody? Is there a better way to communicate? So I can get my ideas.
All of us. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Turned it off, so I might want to push it off.
All the select board members have our emails on the town Facebook, or not Facebook, town website. So if you go to the select board section of the town website, you should be able to contact any of us, or even all of us.
So just be persistent, because I did reach out to one person, I didn't get any response at all, so I should just keep being persistent and do as many as possible.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
definitely. And if you don't get an answer from one person, just go ahead and forward that email to the next. And
All right. Thank you for listening.
You can also reach out to me, ma'am, and I can try to get in touch with one of them. I sometimes facilitate that as well.
Is this on? Is that the button? It'll have a little green light. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I wonder if the town manager could fill everybody in our situation regarding exactly what we have borrowed, what the interest rate is, how long we're going to need to take that temporary loan out, and what our cash flow situation is for now.
Sure. So the tax anticipation note works almost like a line of credit, but not like the way you think. So the maximum under state law that you can borrow under a TAN is a calculation of the amount of money that the town raised in the last fiscal year. So our maximum amount that we can borrow is $1.8 million of the $5 million budget. But as we use it, we can't pay it back and then borrow it again, if you know what I mean. So if we borrow $1 million of the 1.8 million, we can't then pay back the million and borrow that same million again. We would only have 800,000 left. So it's like a line of credit, but not a revolving line of credit. You can only use it once. We borrowed about 650,000, so we could pay, as you're aware, the school bill alone is over $500,000 a month. So we borrowed about 650,000 so that we could make payroll, pay some of our past due utility bills so that the lights and the water and all that stuff doesn't get turned off, and to make payroll, like I think I said, and we paid the schools, and we tried to get everything right now, I believe, is paid up until September 15th. So we're still 30 days behind, but we're no longer going on 60 days behind, which is when companies start to get, antsy, obviously. What we have when we borrow a TAN, we have until June 30th to pay it off. We certainly will not need that amount of time. Just in the past 2 days, I believe, talking to the frontline staff before I came here, I think yesterday, we took in $250,000 in property taxes, today was another $133,000. So the money is coming in. The biggest payments that come into the town once the bills go out and the due date is out there comes from the big payment processors for the escrow agents. So CoreLogic, JP Morgan Chase, those types of people, they send us $500,000 to $1 million at a time. So we will not have a problem, in my estimation, in 30 days. This won't even be an issue anymore. But while we didn't have the bills going out, we had no cash flow coming in because nobody knows how much to pay or when it's due or any of that. So I think we're in pretty good shape now, moving forward. So it's not a big concern. It's not keeping me up at night like it was before. So I'm grateful for that. But that's my problem, not yours.
Justin, can you?
You pass the microphone to Mark.
Sure.
Did you say your name was Dawn? Dawn, I think I'm the one that received your email. You explained that you were sitting down front in your email, okay. I'm the one that got it, and I did reply to your email. I don't know how many days beyond, it may have been 2 or 3 days after that meeting, but I did respond to it. And I'm not a big computer person either, so whether it came back to you or not, but I did reply. And basically my response was similar to what Justin was just saying. We weren't overly concerned about not having money. Once the tax bills went out, we were pretty confident that enough money would be coming in so we wouldn't need to collect, the partial thing like you had talked about, or make any further steps, that enough people would be paying. And also I put in there that all of the people that have escrow mortgages, that the taxes come out, those banks are right on the spot usually paying that tax bill as soon as it comes out. So we would be generating a lot of revenue for the town.
Mr. Gentleman in the blue shirt, if you want to speak.
Answer your questions.
So if I get the town manager's explanation right, we're having a special meeting about extending the interest for 60 days when we really don't have the ability to extend it 60 days, correct?
I'm not sure I understand your
You
question.
just said this whole special meeting is to extend the interest in the fees.
Sure.
Now you're saying that you don't even have the ability to do such.
No, we can. I'm just trying to explain that it is an administrative difficulty for the people that have to process the payments, because the system won't do it automatically. So they're going to have to manually input information every time they cash a check. They're going to have to backdate it, which just leads to potential data entry errors and things like that we're just going to have to deal with. I'm not trying to dissuade you from any type of vote. I'm just trying to explain the process that we'll have to go through in the town office. That's all.
So if that caused a problem to do that, then whatever happened to the whole tabling it till next year? There was a gentleman that was sitting right here during the last meeting, and right after you said that we were gonna have a special meeting on that, and a bunch of people left, it turned to, we're gonna have a special meeting to extend the 60 days of fees and interest.
I can't answer that because I don't remember that meeting
And
and
it's so
discussion.
funny that it wasn't recorded or videoed, so we can't show anybody what exactly happened at the last meeting.
I can explain that if that was done, it would cost the town a significant amount of money, because all of the new parcel information and all the new values are already in our computer system. We would have to hire somebody to data enter, backdate off of paper all of the previous values in order to recalculate. We'd also have to invalidate our commitment, refund all of the tax money that we've already collected, and pay interest on the refunded tax dollars that we've already collected. And then we'd have to issue new tax bills and collect them all over again. So it'd be
why
months.
wasn't that explained when the gentleman asked if other people were for it?
So I believe when that gentleman asked that, there had been a lot of side discussions going. It was very loud in here, and it was stated that we are unable to do that. And then that is when we proposed, and as people were leaving, we were proposing waiving the interest for 60 days after the commitment date. But the problem was everyone was talking over each other, And so I don't think anyone actually heard our full response. And I am aware that we should have recorded it. I'm recording the audio right now, and I'll turn it over to Justin and Dennis, that way we have it. But it's one of those unfortunate things where in the future, we will try and find a way to record these meetings better if we have to have these special ones. But I do recall we did say, unfortunately, we are unable to, table it for a year. And then that is when the 60-day waive was proposed.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to be heard? Mr. Member? Did you want to be heard, sir? No. Does anyone else have a comment or question?
Yes,
Can we move the question, please?
all right. A motion has been made to move the question. Is there a second? Got a second there. All right. All in favor of Article 3, please indicate. Is there any opposition to Article 3? Please indicate. Article 3 passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's been a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor?